Thank you so much, Nicola, and I really believe this partnership will deliver a huge amount of value for our customers. Really interesting what you said, that instant card issuing within a digital wallet can increase customer acquisition by up to 15% and also reduce your card cost services by 40%. And this is something I'm going to explore a little bit further with you all today. From my own personal experience as a consumer, I really can see that in the market. So payments are moving at lightning speed. I think we could all agree with that. Digital wallets have become the world's leading payment method, both e-commerce and point-of-sales transactions, and will account for more than half of all e-commerce payments and a third of POS transactions by 2024. By 2026, 60% of the world's population will have a digital wallet. 60%. So I've already said it, the payment landscape is changing fast. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, I've got young kids, and I came here at 8. By the time I had arrived, I'd made 3 different payments using a digital wallet. I tapped and paid for my coffee. I really need coffee as a young mother. Maybe not so young me, but my kids being young. And I also paid for my Uber, and I paid for groceries using my Apple Wallet. And this is just not a phenomenon that I have, it's evidence across the world. By 2022, the end of this year, there will be more than 3,000 billion USD in the digital wallet space. M-Pesa, the mother of digital wallets, has tripled its revenue from 6 billion to 19 billion USD in the last few years, since 2017. MTN, Africa's largest digital wallet, has 60 million users. And Apple Pay, which I'm an avid fan of, has 507 million users. Google Pay, 150 million. But it's not just these players. It's not just the American markets or the MTN that are changing the landscape. Everybody is doing it across the world. This is my colleague, Teresia, based in Kenya, using Safaricom to pay for her petrol. This is my colleague, Ope, sitting in the room, using Access Bank, driven by Daniel Awe and his colleagues, to tap and pay for his groceries in Nigeria. This is my colleague, Patrick, sitting beside me, tapping and paying for his coffee in Dublin. This is me paying for my coffee, not this morning, different suit. And this is the amazing entrepreneurs that Ato Asfa is helping change the landscape in Ethiopia through his Amole wallet, where they can use Amole to pay for goods that they sell through the Unilever Outreach project, changing their dynamic, changing their affluence, really making a difference through digital wallets. But it's not just digital wallets that are changing our expectations. Nicola spoke about Revolut, and there are a number of new challenger banks that have launched globally, which are changing our expectations and the way that we bank. Revolut, a European company, UK, Latvian-based with a Latvian IBAN, a valuation of 33 billion and 15 million consumers. They launched in 2015. How do they roughly acquire 2 million customers a year? Well, I can tell you from my own personal experience how they did it. So I became a Revolut customer very late, just 2 years ago, at the mid-COVID, maybe around 2020, when Ato Asfa actually came to Dubai to discuss his digitalization project with CR2. And we were discussing how digital challengers are changing the landscape, and we were talking about Revolut. And that night at dinner, I had a conversation with my colleague Kieran, sitting in the back of the room, about how he was using Revolut to acquire cryptocurrency. I thought at the time, it's a great time to buy cryptocurrency. Maybe not, but Henry's changed my mind this morning through the gold story. The time will come, the time will come. But I downloaded the Revolut app that particular night. I onboarded myself, KYC'd myself using my passport documents, opened an account, in, I kid you not, 3 minutes, and I used my card issued from the UAE to fund my account. Now, yes, I opened a Revolut account to purchase my cryptocurrency, but what happened is way more profound than that. Later that week, I had to send my sister some money. So I said, Barbara, I'll just Revolut you. I don't have a Revolut account, Maeve. No problem, I'll send it to your mobile. I sent it to her mobile, she received €5 as a test, and she onboarded herself just as quickly as I had into the Revolut ecosystem. That happened with my mother, who's 77 years old, my sister, and we all now are avid Revolut users. But the biggest profound change that happened in the Revolut ecosystem for me was recently, just about 6 months ago, when I decided to purchase a property back home in Ireland. I've been living in Dubai for 20 years. And my primary bank in Ireland is Allied Irish Bank. Nobody here from Allied Irish Bank today, I hope. And I opened that account in 1998. The reason I opened that account, and I say this to my banker friends in Africa all the time, is that AIB gave me a free mobile phone. Mobile phones had just become a thing in order to open that bank account. So that's a really fun way to get more customers using mobile banking. Anyway, I opened my AIB bank account and I had it for 21 years I've been living in Dubai. So when I wanted to purchase my property, I needed to send a large amount of money back home to Ireland. And I didn't want to do it through Revolut. I wanted to do it through my trusted bank, AIB. But I was locked out of their mobile banking system. And the friction to access their mobile banking system was so large, I said again to Kieran, Kieran, do you send large values through Revolut? And I decided to use Revolut. I didn't trust Revolut. I trusted AIB. But the friction gave me no choice. And that's why Revolut have 15 million users. But it's not just Revolut. They're just one brand in a long stream. Look at Chipper Cash. Our partners, Tunes, are sitting in the audience, Sandra Yo from Tunes. They're enabling Chipper Cash to come to the market with a lower cost remittance. And they've stormed onto the market and acquired 4 million users in just a few short years. I think 2014 they launched. And their valuation is 2 billion. Nubank, the largest digital bank in the world, a proposition targeted to consumers who couldn't afford credit cards, offering a credit card at 200% less interest than any other card in the market. But more importantly, frictionless onboarding, seamless payments, the ease of use. These guys are changing our expectations. Now, I had a really interesting conversation with Laddie from KPMG, who's going to speak to us later this afternoon before we started this call. And Laddie is going to speak to us about the survey that KPMG did, looking at banks, particularly across Africa, and how they interact digitally. But in that survey, I don't want to steal too much of his thunder, it said that 60% of the digitally native would rather leave their wallet home than their phone. I'm one of those people. I'm sure many of you are. Every day, after I drop my kids to nursery, I go and have a coffee with my friends. I bring my phone, I bring my handbag, and 9 times out of 10, somebody calls me and says, Maeve, you left your handbag at the table, because I've used my phone to tap and pay. I don't need my handbag, it's an accessory. Leaders understand the expectation of today's customers. Onboarding needs to be seamless. Payments need to be seamless. The challengers understand that. Now, this is a slide you've probably all seen before. I'm sure you've seen Brett King give it. 10 years ago. I'm sure you've seen it at Cards Middle East. I'm sure you've seen it at Cybos. We've seen this slide before. It's telling us that other organizations outside the financial institutions are changing the expectations of consumers. Uber offer me to pay at the point of need. In fact, Uber are so in tune to that they enable their drivers in the US to avail of insurance products at the point of need. Netflix, they enable me to pay at the point of need. They provide my preferences. They know who I am. They treat me as a person. But if we've seen this slide before, then why are 90% of transactions still in cash in Africa? It's important to reduce cash, We need financial inclusion. We need to address the large populations which are still financially excluded. It's important for banks to reduce cash because it costs a lot of money. And also, similar to what Henry was saying earlier on this morning, when we have digital payments, when we have payments inside the digital ecosystem, we enable transparency, we reduce fraud, and we combat anti-money laundering. But perhaps what's most critical is that it provides an economic opportunity of payment visibility. If I have my payments in the digital ecosystem, there is an opportunity to lend to me at the point of need and to lend responsibly. And this is how we enable people to become more affluent, to make an impact, to reach the goals that they aspire for themselves. In fact, in Uganda, we have colleagues here from DFCU today, it's proven that digital wallets are already changing people's livelihood, moving from the rural sector into different streams of the economy. Now, I really like this saying because we're in the home of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who's created this amazing city for us. And Sheikh Mohammed is definitely not afraid of competition. He says that competition always makes you stronger and better. Competition is feared by only the weak. There's competition everywhere. In Africa, that might be cash. In the Middle East, if we're sitting in the UAE, we have competition with Liv, challenger banks who are coming into this market, saying that making Emirates MBD much more profitable. We have competition if we're in Nigeria with Kuda Bank, a digital challenger bank in Nigeria, with Chipper, with Axis Bank, who are eating up Africa. We have competition with Opay. If we're in Europe, we have competition with Revolut. If we're in Ethiopia, that competition is banks, telecom operators, Safaricom, M-Pesa. The list goes on. We all have competition. But the one thing you guys have is you have trust, and you have brand, and you have deposit. Most of these challenger banks, they're not profitable. You have the strength to compete. Together with CR2's proposition, we can enable you to compete. And for that, and to prove that, I need your participation. Can I ask everybody, please, to take out their mobile phone? Can you put it up here, please, guys, and put it on the table in front of you? It doesn't matter if you have an Android, an iPhone, even if you have an old Nokia, which I still use for my Revolut account in Ireland, put that up too, because we can solve that problem for you. Maybe Fintan can buy you an Apple iPhone, but we can still service you with this phone. Now, please put it down on the table in front of you. Now, anyone who has a card, can you please take it out of your wallet, put it on your phone in front of you. Atto Degere, do you have a multi-currency card? I think you do, because you were the first in Ethiopia to launch multi-currency prepaid cards driven by CR2. Can you please put that on top of your phone? Now, anyone who has cash, I had to borrow this cash from Kieran earlier on yesterday because I had no cash. But anyone who has cash, can you please take it out? I have here €1, I have here £1, and I have some dollars as well, or some dirhams as well. And put all of that cash, all your currencies, on top of your mobile phone, because that's really, really relevant. Put it in front of you. Now, anyone who services their customers using agents, please put your hands up. Serge from Aura Bank, I know you have agents. We power you in 13 different countries for your agencies. Atto Asfa, I know you have agents. You're changing their lives. Anybody else use agents? Okay, put your hand with your agent on your phone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the CR2 wallet proposition. Be the bank you want to be. Be the financial institution that you want to be with CR2. Create an impact with our wallet. Address financial inclusion by lowering the value cost to serve with an account completely hosted on the CR2 platform. Increase your customer value. Offer propositions such as Atto de Gere, where you can have multi-currency cards for corporate customers when they're traveling, issued inside their mobile phone. Make customers trust you. Offer them one-time e-commerce cards that they could issue inside their mobile phone to purchase online. It's proven that in emerging markets, 70% of consumers don't trust online transactions. But if you can offer them a one-time card, that it enables them to be trusted. Reduce your cost to serve. Yes, I'm saying increase your revenues and reduce your cost to serve at the same time, because you don't have to issue plastic anymore, or you can supplement your plastic if you want. And generate revenue with new propositions, cross-border payments, enabling real impact for your customers. Now I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Patrick Simons, who's going to show you how we can enable this.